Welcome to Two Arabs and a Podcast, a show with no limits, dating, business, martial arts, self-defense, and the life of two Arabs in America. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your hosts, the owner of Warrior Academy, the son of an immigrant, international traveler, black rank in Krav Maga, a jiu-jitsu practitioner, and Brazil's national champion. And of course, 2018 Self-Defense Instructor of the Year, a bodyguard and military combative instructors, none other than Fraz Azar. Joined by his co-host, Omar Oswan, the owner of Warrior Tactical Training, published author, doctor of criminology, world traveler, fluent in 4 languages, a military combat contractor, and a first-generation immigrant. The show begins now.
Welcome to another episode of Two Arabs and a Podcast. I'm Omar Aswad, joined with Firas. Firas, how's it going today, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
It's 2020 so far.
Yeah, we already heard that one. So, no, everything's good. I think we got a really good show tonight, actually. I'm very, very, very excited to introduce to our followers, our guest. I think, Omar, you haven't talked with Arash before,
No, I have not.
Okay, I think I'll give a little quick background, everybody, and then I'll get the master himself, and I call him the master. Because I met Arash, I think, 2015, Arash, me and you got talking?
I don't know, backwards dates are hard for me, but I assume yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so got to talk. I've seen him online a few times, and one thing I led to the other. First of all, what caught my attention, I mean, I've read about him, he's being like a master of seduction and communication, but then I saw he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu under Sandro Batata. And then I started seeing his martial arts stuff. He's like a hybrid machine in a lot of things. So we ended up getting connected, and honestly, I have been having Arash even help me mentoring me during the time I was coming up and stuff, and then I worked with him. My first West Coast seminar was at his fucking gym, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Back in 2016, I think, and Arash just kicked the door for me, and I'm very honored by that, to be honest. And believe it or not, I entered one of his gym, and a lot of people know this for some reason, but they forget, because, people's memories are like goldfish. He had honestly, I've seen one of the best. I'm not just talking about the fight gym that he had and the martial art gym and all that. He had a woman's only gym. And believe it or not. And man, it had everything in it. Everything. Like a woman go in. I took a tour with him. And believe it or not, man, it was something you would see even in luxurious countries. You don't see it here.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have the video for that, but I never put it till Arash told me one day if he wants to show it or not. But I had an entire tour I took with him. And man, it was amazing. You're talking about women will come in. No men are allowed. Gated. First of all, Arash, they had tattoo, nail salon, fitness, everything, right? Mm-hmm. The whole 9 yards.
Sounds perfect place to drop your wife for the day.
Yep, the whole ones. But hey, you know that. So anyway, enough of the talk. We'll introduce the master here. My good friend Arash, how's it going, brother?
Thank you, brother. You're not fully on camera, Frost. Did you know that? Can you see your cutoff or no? Can you see
I'm seeing right now. Yeah, I can see. Okay, here we go.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for having me on the show. It's always an honor to get a chance to speak to a new audience. I think that's much more valuable than people expect.
Yeah.
And I've known you, as you said, for the time that you've said. And I think one of the things that brings people together is their values. I think you and I share a lot of values.
Absolutely.
And we're men of value. So that makes us very close. You can know somebody for 1 year and share the exact same values. You feel like you've known them for 20 years. You've known somebody for 20 years and you find out that they hold different values than you. Finally, you find out after 20 years, you're like, well, I don't even fucking know you. So I think the closest of the relationship for me is that, I recognize in you a martial artist. And when I say a martial artist, that's different to me than an MMA fighter. All respect to MMA fighters, but I'm talking about a martial artist in the old tradition. Now the world is different with COVID again, but you could say there was a time when there was martial arts masters and people wanted to be that young men watched movies like Karate Kid and knew what Daniel's son was or Mr. Miyagi was a thing in the culture that everybody knew. Mr. Miyagi was a joke. He was part of the commercials. Now, a lot of people have no idea what I'm talking about now, and that's the sad part. But at the same time, it allows us, the older generation, which is interesting to even say that about myself, but it allows us, the older generation, to have something of value to talk about, because I think that any young man growing up who doesn't know who Bruce Lee is, or doesn't know the relationship between Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, doesn't know who Daniel San and Karate Kid, the original one, is, Bloodsport, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Kickboxer, King of Kickboxing. There's some best of the best. There's some movies that created some of the greatest martial artists of the world. We were educated by those movies, trying to emulate. We were trying to be those people.
100%.
Some of us were those people.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I could talk forever about that. But that's the thing, is that's where I value my relationship so much with you. And so here I am, and I'm ready to talk. Let's do it.
To be honest with you, Arash, Omar, he's a good friend of mine, partner, student, and you know how it's interesting. So you bring the value, and I'm going to touch on that honestly. And this is Arash's relation. That's why and I say this man, I love this man, and I'll tell you why. You know this as a master, Arash. The relationship we end up having with our students, it goes beyond from a master to student. I mean, this is my student here. Look at him. He's my partner in podcast. He's my partner in business. And let's speak up of your relationship with for Manu, for instance. I mean,
look, even Alex Manu, who's my teacher, passed away 20 years ago. But right now, the people that are watching this podcast, there's over 40 or something. They're not my students. We're a family. Yeah. You know what I mean? We really are. We all know it, and nobody can understand that except us. So, yep, that's how it goes, and that's why an upset between teacher and student in our tradition goes very far. It becomes really like feud-like, very crazy, very upsetting. And there's a reason for that, because they don't understand that you as a teacher are, let's say you have a son, right? You combine your genes with your wife's genes or your woman's genes, and you create a new life form that's half you, half her, and you always love him for that. When a person, let me now be the student, in my martial arts career, I have Master Ernie Reyes, Grandmaster Ernie Reyes, and Sandro Batata. Now, it would be very difficult to be those men and look at me and not feel some sort of fatherly love towards me. I already know it, even though I'm the son now, right? Because they have helped design me as a character growing up. They've taught me things that I emulated, because I saw men of strength that I wanted to be like, and I forged myself to be like these guys. So I'm sure when they look at me, they see a part of themselves. And the betrayal is when you give yourself like that to somebody, right? And then they turn around and they do something that you don't agree with, right? People think it's just a disagreement. It's not. The relationship was based on you transferring your mind and your soul into somebody, right? So if there's a big discrepancy, if there's an argument or an upset, it should be treated by the student, as I've always treated it with my instructors. It should be treated by the student as almost like your father, doesn't matter his age. In that area, he's your father, right? In that area. So if you value that area, then act like it.
See, and absolutely, man. And by the way, this is why I say Arash is a master of words. Mm-hmm. He will figure. He knows how to say things, even if the people don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He'll get it there. And right there, he hit the nail. And a lot of people see us as black belts, as academy owners, as masters in our field when we teach, and we see a student leave, like doesn't even explain, they're like, what the fuck is it like about your gym and you don't want him to go? It's not that. Absolutely. And that's what he said. And we're talking about the term of loyalty, and we're saying loyalty is royalty. And he's saying, and they were saying, we give so much. And there's and people say, well, you're throwing an expectation. I was like, have you not understand that I be around these people more than they're around their families?
Yeah, totally.
How many times, let's be honest, Arash, how many times you have been involved in their personal disagreements, weddings, funerals? How many things have you as a master been involved in your student's life?
I've driven the streets and picked up the student who ran away from home, and I found him, and I took him back to his mom, had him apologize. I've had a student, the father was going to jail the next day. He showed up the night before and said, I'll be in jail for about 5 to 10 years. I want you to take care of my son. I had no idea who his son was. The next day, this lady showed up, dropped the son off with me, and I raised the son until the dad got out of jail. there is no limit to it. I was just talking to Matador about this the other day, and he said, this is my jiu-jitsu coach. He said, people don't understand when you do this, you become a psychologist. I said, yeah, you become a master psychologist because you're dealing with people all day. You're going to make mistakes and you're going to learn. You're going to, you know?
So to switch gears, Arash, how did you become or decide that you're a master seductioner and get into that field and almost switch careers, if I may say that? From martial arts. It looks like that.
Yeah, it looks like that, and it did transition. However, it didn't fully. It's the same. It's the same sap, Maharishi would say, of the tree that runs through the different branch, but same tree. So. Of course, growing up, any healthy male falls in love with beautiful women, right? And it occupies our mind so much that everything we do becomes for the girl. We buy the new shoes to impress the girl, car, house. How much we do for the girl. Women don't recognize how much a man does, but me as a man, you as a man recognize who knows how many percentage of our actions, if you really look at it, were designed just to impress the woman. Too much to count. So I recognized this at some point, that it was seeping into every aspect of my life, even martial arts, right? Even martial arts. Everything. There was not one aspect that I didn't involve the woman's judgment in my life. So for that reason, I thought I had a secret underneath all the secrets. Martial arts gave me a secret, which was no matter what that man says or acts like or big he is, I have the ability, if I do it properly, to hurt him. And that's as raw as it gets. Like he needs to watch out for me, right? And that was an appeal of the martial arts, right? Made me strong enough to be able to say, well, okay, I can stand. I'm not invincible. A lot of people can beat me up, but at least I'm dangerous now. Well, when I understood this idea, I realized that even dangerous men, emperors, kings, whoever, fighters, when it came to women, they still had the same problem I did. They wanted multiple women. They didn't know what to say. They would get nervous. They would fucking lose their kingdoms over a chick. So the fascination was immediate in this fact of, every man of every stature is dealing with this subject, right? What if you became so good at it? And I was lucky enough to see people that were good at it. I met Mystery from VH1's Pickup Artist. I met Mystery. I met Matador. And I saw these guys that were actually good at talking to women, and they lived great lives, the kind of lives I wanted. So then I just started getting involved with it, got better and better at it, and I realized that that's where my gift was, because I could speak really well. So if you know how to speak well, you can get women. If you know how to speak well, you could sell things. You could lead. Do anything.
Very true. And to play devil advocate, because I do the devil advocate on the show.
Here's the devil advocate.
Exactly. So would you say that some people would describe what you're doing as manipulation? You're teaching men how to manipulate women, and in a sense, you're sexist. I'm playing devil advocate. It doesn't mean that's my opinion, by the way.
I would agree.
Is that what you would view it as? You're teaching men how to manipulate other people for their own gains, essentially to gain something out back.
Sure, and I don't think any man should be sorry about that.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Here's one thing I'll say from my personal experience with Arash, and I've seen him as Arash the friend, the master, and at work. Seeing him at work is a whole different animal, and I will explain that to you. Remember when you invited me for my first one I did with you guys up in Hollywood? That big, what was it again? I forgot the name of it. The big convention is...
it was either the evolution of consciousness or... No, it was...
It was... everybody was there, but of course you let in.
Yeah, around the world, I remember.
Yeah, so... I'm going to introduce this to the crowd. Arash came talk to me one day and he said, we were chit-chatting, and he said, we got this, let me bring you in to speak about security and stuff, and just come with us, And we were doing okay, and I had to give briefs, and I've met people from all over the world, and with all due respect to the speakers were there. They're top of the line people. One of them is that guy that he belongs to Mystery. I forgot his name. He's one of Mystery's students. Where is he? The English dude. What's his name?
Was it Discovery?
Discovery, yeah. So they were there, and I was like, I've heard this guy. But and I will talk about presence different. Arash came in last, even though sometimes even the guys headlining. I did my part on talk and had amazing questions. I mean, you look around the room, you get people from all around. These are people, literally, Omar, you'll meet men with wealth, but don't know how to talk to women. I mean, I have never known this has existed, but I hear from Arash. Okay, so, and, you know, my thing was always communication things. To see him talk first and how to bring it down, it's magic. Because it's all communication. And this is some people like, oh, it's manipulation. Or that. I said that I am disagreeing, but I'm going to give my opinion in it. Honestly, it's all communication. This is and that's why I call them the master in communication. People want to mask it as chauvinist, as manipulation, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? I see it as communication. I don't know. Maybe you guys like communication because manipulation is a different whole thing. There's lies. There's this. Exactly. This is not what this man teaches. And I'll be honest with it. He's very, his honesty is blunt. And this is my respect with him. You like it or not, even with his own women, his honesty is blunt. And this is what I want to see because I know in my experience where I live, and I think Arash will agree, the word manipulation here sounds like a fucking politicians and these fucking weak ass fuckers. Yeah. And this is my disagreement on this point. And Arash can disagree if he wants, but this is not.
Well, let me tell you, that's great, actually. Everybody watch. So this is great because I have my students on too. So the reason why I didn't even make a deal out of it, and I said, yeah, and I don't think any man should be sorry, right? That was my answer, right? The reason why I said that is I believe if a person thinks I'm manipulating women and goes that route, right, they're already so stupid, just so you know. Okay, now let's understand the philosophy of my answer. They're so lame that if I said no, they just want to argue with me. So I believe that the question points to a state of mind that is not seeking an answer, it's seeking a judgment. And so the answer to that is, yeah, I am, and I'm not sorry about it. And that would be the answer to anything anybody said. However, am I teaching men to manipulate? Well, now we're going to have to get a better answer, which says, if you do martial arts, and let's just say jujitsu, the question is, are you manipulating the other person's body, yes or no? The answer is yes. Now, if you were in a fight with a man, and you had the ability to manipulate his body in a way he didn't want. And you got him in a position where you held him and you said, calm down, right? I could either kill you or let you go. And he calmed down and he realized you could beat him. And so what he did was he submitted. And you let him go. And he got up and he was like, fuck, man, I'm sorry. Or he tried again and then you moved around and got him again. And he said, last time. And then you let him go and he was like, okay. And he got in his mind, I cannot fuck with this guy. And suddenly he stopped being a bully and he became very kind because whatever dramatization he was doing on you was stopped because he couldn't bully you. Right there. That's called submission. Submission. Now, you're going to use techniques to counter his attacks. All right. Now, women, let's start like this. We're going to take a woman who's a very good looking woman. Take your pick, whoever you know. And she's going to go out at 9 p.m. one of these nights. Here's what happens around 6. She starts taking a shower. Okay. By 7, the outfit maybe. By 8, we have lashes. We have hair extensions. We have a push-up bra, or it's already a boob job, which means 2 plastic pieces of material inside her skin. Okay. And by 9 o'clock, she has transformed herself into a woman that when you see, you'll drop everything and want to marry her, right? She's taken at least 3 hours. And if you told her, what are you doing? Go out there and be yourself. Go get it. She'd be like, are you stupid? With no makeup, looking like that? I'm never going to do that. And if you said to her, are you manipulating him? She would look at you like, are you stupid? Why would you ask me that? Am I manipulating him? No, this is how you get women. This is how you get a man. Let's stop. So that's why she's been whooping our ass, because the man is expected to counter that 3 hours of preparation with a just be yourself, go over there and be honest. No, there's not one honest look on that woman's eyelash, eyebrow, hair, titty, ass. There's not one honest movement from that woman. And you and I are supposed to go over there like 2 little fucking bacon pieces. ready to be slaughtered by this tigress who's walking through the jungle, taking her pick of any man she fucking wants. She needs to face a lion, one who plays her game. She has claws, we have claws. So now she faces a man who's also prepared to meet her. And she knows it. She knows the moment you're food when you walk by. If she's gotten that ready, if she's that fine, if she's a cocktail waitress at a restaurant or she's a stripper, she will swallow any man alive. She's a man eater.
Well, I've learned that absolutely. I remember when I told you I used to run the security for the strip club. Yeah. The number one gal there was my girlfriend. Yeah. And honestly, Arash, I later bring the story of how me and Arash got together, by the way, about something. But why I'm saying what he's saying, I'm bringing the facts here because here's the thing. Again, when I hear the word manipulation, I just want to elbow someone in the face. I'm just saying.
I feel you. But that's why, hey, did you see how much I've improved? Here's how much I've improved.
And nobody's seen the camera other than his students.
Guys, I agree
and
on
he
that.
smirked.
I'm a devil advocate.
I know you. I have to say Arash, and Arash just sitting there smiling. I was like, okay. That's why I'm like, no, motherfuckers. I got to fix this for the audience. So here's what I'm saying.
I've improved so much in dealing with stupidity that I don't know if it was, he said I'm playing devil's advocate. So I hear, okay, I'm playing stupid. So I go, okay, stupid question gets stupid answer. Right? There you go. Stupid question doesn't get a great answer. Then you came back with an intelligent answer, so I answered it properly. But you know, when someone says I'm playing devil's advocate, they're normally saying what the critic says. And you have to remember, it's time at that moment to answer the critic, not answer the person. And the critic answer is the same. Now, if a person goes away and judges you, then they were the critic. They were just saying, I'm playing the devil's advocate. They were the devil's advocate. But if they weren't, they'll say to you, like, really, bro? I thought you don't manipulate. Like, I had a totally different vision of you. You go, yeah, seriously, though. That's true. But the way you asked, which is exactly what happened. Okay, go ahead.
Here we go. But so one second. So when he's talking about women in the game, that I have learned some of the best, and let's use the word manipulation, don't we? Yeah. From my girlfriend that time. Yeah. She was the head girl there. About 5'11", blonde, tall. Man, that shit she made to these guys do. And none of them.
Are you still with her?
No.
Okay, so this is
she moved on. I mean, we moved on.
She was a stripper.
Yeah. Back in the day, way back. So what I'm trying to say is, I've watched the game by yourself, just with them, and I always make sure nobody messes with it. That man, so you go home and count some money with me about these dumbasses, what they're saying and the tones and all that. There be times I'll be answering like, "Hey, answer the phone, just tell them I'll be back or whatever," and ignore him. But to go to what he's saying here, here's what I'm trying to explain. Men and women know how to do these. Exactly. But people's like, when I call it manipulation, I was like, I don't know. If you're an idiot, you will get manipulated. And this is my opinion. But
the word manipulation was created by people who were manipulating other people, and they wanted other people to stay away from them. So they said he's manipulating you. It's not a word that any man ever really uses. No man ever uses the word manipulate. It's a female term. Exactly. Like if you're in a crowd of men and a man says to another man, "Hey, that's pretty manipulative," you say, "Shut the fuck up." Says that. Like, okay, flower child, get the fuck out of my face.
It'll be a weird vibe.
That's like a guy who says like, "Man, that's very mean of you." Like, just there's certain words men don't use with men. Yeah, exactly. You could say, "Bro, that's fucked up," but you don't say, "You're being really mean right now." Like, okay, just say it another way, you fucking Care Bear. You know what I mean? We're trying to be okay here. Seriously, look at you all look tough. You look tough. I look tough. Why? Because we value being tough men.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's not make me to a fucking Care Bear and start saying like, absolutely. "Well, do you manipulate women?" "Yeah, I do." "Well, that's why I think it's wrong." "Well, then you shouldn't do it." Okay, next question. And next person said, "Yeah."
I call it the lameness of this country and the weakness that arises. I got first words. You should see some of the comments. I used to joke with him. It's like, some people say, "Dude, that guy's crazy." And I look at him, I was like, "What is crazy?" I don't know. I was like, I know him differently than what you know him, you know?
Well, what about me is crazy? What did I say that was crazy? I like to know.
I mean, to me, define crazy is different. Come on, brother.
Exactly.
That's what we do for
what did I say that was crazy? Give me a sentence that was crazy. I like it.
They never explain. You see what
I'm saying? All logic. Nah, it's all logic.
Explain. Have you ever had somebody call you crazy? Have explained to you what is crazy to them?
No, they could say he looks crazy. Yes, yeah, I mean, that's a look. That's a look. Of course, you know. Listen, if they say he looks crazy, say, "Look, he's a martial artist. If we had to go to war, I would want that guy on my team. And the way he looks, the enemy would also recognize the same look you just saw. and they don't want to fuck with a crazy guy like that. So yes, he looks crazy, but he's a warrior.
I've said it to some guy back in the day that used to work with me. I fired him because I knew he wasn't going to last. And he said, because he sees me when I was traveling to San Jose, you know his name. I'm not going to put his name alone, so fuck him. But anyway, he met to me, he's like, man, that guy kind of look at his shit, he's crazy, and the things he does doesn't fit with you. I looked at him and I said this, I was like, do you understand? This is a man. If I send one text to him, even though me and him will be a year not talking, one text, Arash, I need help.
Yeah.
All he'll say is when and where and what's going on.
Exactly.
And I said that to him. I was like, you motherfucker won't do it. And it fucked our relationship, me and him, after I said that. Because I
but it's true though. But it's true. But to go back to the point you're saying, I agree with you 100%.
You should come closer to the mic. Your voice is far right now. Yeah.
You guys hear me better? Sorry.
No, it's the same.
I don't know why. Odd. So going back to
it's hard to hear.
Yeah. Maybe now it's better.
Same, but that's okay.
Okay. So going back to your point, I agree with you 100%. When I was in college, I hadn't had the best game, and I started selling cars, not related to women at all. I started selling used cars in college just to make extra money. And as soon as I started selling cars and became successful at it, I realized, or start looking at my life, and I became really better in approaching women and selling myself essentially and getting what I want. And that's why I always say it's like selling used cars. So I agree with you in that aspect 100%. Nice. It's not manipulation. It's, I think, communication and understanding to communicate. But my question to you, and I've been noticing that, and there isn't really much conversation or research about it, is the tone of voice that we use. I understand you talk a lot about words and what words you use, but I've noticed, just from noticing tones, when people talk, like we're conversating, we're using a normal tone. If I got pulled over, or I'm talking to my supervisor, or I'm talking to somebody of authority, I go up in tone. If I'm not sure, I go down in tone. And I start looking in bars, and I've been noticing, not exactly the words, I'm not really noticing the words, but I'm noticing when guys talk to girls, they go up in tone as if they're talking to a supervisor. And that to me is weird. Why would you start treating it's, reflecting in your voice like you're talking to somebody who are higher than you already? So at that point, does it really matter what you're saying to her? Because at that point, you're basically approaching the person and saying, you're already better than me. I'm going to treat you like a supervisor.
Okay. By the way, your voice suddenly came through clearly, Okay, I'm with you. You're 100% accurate. It's a very, 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 very smart observation in what I do. In this field, that's a genius level observation. So I'm curious that you observe that. Maybe points to the fact that you're extremely interested in that. You would have to be really looking to see that tonality. Like in that, have you been like really interested in understanding about women or what?
No. So what I do is basically I'm a people watcher. I like to people watch, and from my interactions, whether it's with women or seeing other people.
You got a PhD in criminology, so you're an observer.
Exactly, I'm a very observant person. And I try to analyze people.
I see. Okay.
So when I go to talk to
it's a very observant thing to say.
So when I sit in a bar, when I sit in a bar and I see a guy talking to a girl and he's successful, I'm not necessarily interested in what he's saying. I start looking at body language, her body language, what they're saying, to analyze the situation and use it to my advantage later on in the night with somebody else. So it's getting feedback. And I start noticing the tonality in terms of when people talking, and to me it puts it off. If a guy approaches me and we all been in that situation and they start talking to me higher up, I immediately realize the guy's not on my level. I'm gonna brush it off and shake his hand and walk away. I'm not gonna be his friend and be like, yeah, let's go grab a beer, because he's meeting me in a way that's, hey, you want my signature, and call it today, you want a copy of my book, and like shut the fuck up and leave me alone. The same thing with the women. So what do you think about that?
Oh, I think you're a genius. I think. Are you a genius? Seriously though. No. Not to be humble. Are you a genius?
I've never been tested.
He's very smart.
I have never got my IQ tested.
Okay, I'm calling it right now. Everybody pay attention. I've always called it. That's a genius level observation. I think your IQ is very high.
Thank you.
Right? Very high. Have you done IQ tests?
No, never.
Man, I bet you it's somewhere in the 140s or higher. That's you're 100% right. And knowing that is such a weapon in social interactions. Okay, let's take a real life example. Please remember when you asked me the question about manipulation. If you could recall or rewind later and look at my tone when I answered you, would have described my power level on that level. Like, it doesn't matter what I said. The way I said it would have felt on the receiving end like you did something wrong.
Exactly,
right? And I knew that. And all I did is I agreed. But then why do I feel like I just did something wrong? What was there sinking in me? Because my tonality, it was even boom. It was a whole different level. The tone says everything. Says everything. The tone says everything. Fuck the words. The words are they're the icing.
So for guys to be better in communicating in terms of with approaching a woman, so they should work on their tone. And so now I'm going back to the devil's advocate and asking you a stupid question. So should they go and buy the book of the pickup artist for $5 online and learn the 60 pickup lines and go to women and repeat the same dumb shit?
No, they should subscribe to Arash's
program. What do you say about that, guys? Because people are going to wonder
who
don't know you.
Be clearly known, because I have a path laid out on earth for this. So it starts with a book by it's called The Mystery Method. Every man should read The Mystery Method. Then every man should read the book called The Game. These two start your journey into picking up women. You have to know these things. From there, then there's a cast of characters that show up. Study those characters, paying very close attention to mystery. Hypnotica is a good one. And then the new character would be Arash. Study everything I have. Then the rest of the guys, study them so you know what they are. You understand them, you get a good perspective because they're good at what they do, right? But they're not complete at all, right? So that's how it starts. It starts with two books called The Mystery Method and The Game. They're essential if anybody wants to be here.
Yeah, the Game, isn't it the book by Strauss? Oh, I forgot the name.
Yeah,
I remember the book.
So, of course, for our audience that don't know you personally, I've been following you online for a couple of years now, and big fan of your work. For people,
you have?
Yeah, I have. So people,
he's my student, man.
I follow you on Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
Or Thug with PhD, but I got blocking recently, so now I'm off Instagram.
I remember that Instagram. That was you. So, but it's been a long time since I've seen you on it.
Yeah, I got blocked a couple months ago. So
the commies of censorship, Arash. You're felt good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm got taken down. So my question is for people that don't know you and have no clue who you are. What makes you different from all these schmucks who are pickup artists, quote unquote, and they're teaching bullshit? Because I've seen your work.
That's very easy to answer. Because let's say there was going to be a group of speakers that were going to be talking about financial wealth, right? And they all looked like they were successful. They had nice cars and houses. There would be something you should look at the end of it. If they all showed their bank accounts and everybody's ended in millions and one guy had trillions, we would see it. Okay, now let's stop right here. Currently, I have what you would say by standards, which are actually much lower than my standards, but by regular standards, you would say I have 7 girlfriends right now. Okay, one of those girlfriends has been with me for over 14 years and 8 months. Another one for 10 years. I have one girlfriend who has 2 children. I've had girlfriends with some of the most disgusting pasts you could ever think about. Now, clean. And so by observation and count, like money count, if there was every single man on the planet that we've seen so far, I'm sure maybe there's one somewhere hidden in some jungle, but people we know, if they all got on stage to talk about relationships, you would have to measure their relationships. The women, how they look, how long they've been together, how else do they relate? Okay, by that measurement, there's nothing even near me. It's like measuring 2 totally. Come on, 7 girlfriends. We know someone with 2. Okay, then let me tell you the next step. My girlfriends, they don't have guy friends. They don't have one guy friend. That means 7 women, I can tell you, if you see them with a guy friend, you let me know. It'll be a breakup. And everybody knows my girlfriends. They're famous enough that if you see them somewhere, I'll hear about it. Okay? So I can keep measuring, and then it'll just become astronomically different, where I will either be a god or I'm totally blessed. I don't know which one is true, but it keeps expanding. I'm doing something right. So for that reason, the more you analyze my life, the more unbelievable it is in a positive way. And everybody else, if you analyze it, you're going to stop at one wife or one girlfriend. And if they have other girlfriends, those girls talk to everybody. They're doing threesomes. No, I don't know. My women can run for, president one day. Like it's a whole different world. I want ethical women. I want conservative women. I want women that don't embarrass me. I want women that I could fucking have children with. I want women of value. Like real shit that we all want growing up. So for that reason,
I would say I'll share my experience about me and you, Arash, if you don't mind.
Yes.
All right. So I'll say my experience. I'll tell you when you want to see my point of view. When I fly down to San Jose to Arash, first of all, I'll tell you, he comes pick you up. If you, depends who you are. He comes pick me up. Arash will be like me, t-shirt and jeans. Literally from the airport, as we go down, I have people honking and waving at him and that, just like every time. And this is serious. So we dropped me. Well, he treated me better than the fucking Hollywood stars that hired me to bodyguard them. He put me in the best room. God, that hotel was amazing, brother. So literally, so he's like, all right, brother, I'll come up and pick you up. You rest up a bit. I go with him and he showed me, because I've never been to San Jose. I heard about it. We can go to the ghetto with the gangsters. Arash is in a white tee and about to come out and hang out, feed us. Then we go to a restaurant. I mean, I'm talking about all levels of class up and down. Mm-hmm. This is when you know realistic people, first of all. You can put them anywhere. So we get that. I'm done and introduced me to his friends. We did our stuff. I went to the women's gym that he has. By the way, he's the guy that walks in. If he is the manipulator or whatever, you wouldn't see other men trust their woman training at his gym.
True.
They know who's the fucking owner.
That's true. There's a lot, like 200 women. So
yeah. I mean, I went with the gym. I'm looking around. I was like, wow, this exists here? So that's one. Then one day, he said, all right, let's go to Hollywood, California. I was walking with him in Hollywood Square. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Okay. People will be yelling from far away. Mind you, at that convention, we had 6 known seduction artists. I'm putting quote. No disrespect to them. I'm just speaking about my friend and my experience. No one knows them as much as they know this motherfucker there. Mm-hmm. So that's one. His woman will be around going in and out, and I see them. He's the only one on stage, and you see his woman there. I'll sit in the backstage, watch his back while he's teaching, just to make, people are weird. They're weird. The ladies are there. They know these are Weather Rush. Mm. And they're normal. They're not sitting there like people think they're hiding or acting like harem or weird shit. No. Literally. I even check them. They're there and they come out and they're polite and professional to everyone. It shows you that level of confidence in who he is and how he treats his people. Not just the women, his people. Us that with Arash, you can spot those are with Arash. That's what they know us as we go in and out. The entire fucking guy. So I'm just going to give you, that's my answer. That's what you know the difference. Really? And it's not kissing ass or blowing smoke. I'm speaking of my experience.
No, it's true. No, it's true. Thank you for that. And that's very true. Yeah, but bro, it's, I have to confront that. Honestly, you're very intelligent. It's beyond obvious right now. So I would tell you I'm going to speak to you now from a different perspective. Okay. Let me tell you from one being to another. I don't know how it's happening, but if anybody analyzed my life down to the smallest details of it, I swear, it doesn't make sense in the most unrealistic, fantastical way ever. This should not be my experience on earth, right? However, I carry the biggest heartbreak you could ever imagine. So I'm not like running around in paradise. I'm in a paradise life, fantasy life, but more heartbroken than any man you've ever seen, ever, right? Which is a trip. So that's the balance I have to face. But again, everybody knows a little bit. No one knows everything, but the little bit that everybody knows from that, what Fraz just explained, nobody in this house has had. I live with 5 of my students. Nobody's really had that experience, but they've had their own experiences. My roommate here will tell you what it's like just being my roommate, like across the doorway. But if you put it all together, I'm the one who's experiencing all of that. And in every environment I find myself in, I'm having an experience reserved for what we read about in mythology or rock stars. I'm not that. I'm just a guy who knows how to communicate, I guess, extremely, extremely well now, because I don't know what else I got going for me. But as long as I can talk, I'm going to get what I want. That's a fact. And it's been proven to me.
That's amazing. I've witnessed that in work. Yeah. And I remember, I don't know if you remember this night, Arash. So we were at the lobby. I think we were lit. After we were in the lobby. And man, the hotel we were in we were the only motherfuckers walking in with beanies. And Arash had his beard back then. We actually took it to some Chinese restaurant. Even I think Kobe was there or somebody. We were just sitting. I don't remember that. You remember that night, Arash?
I remember this, man. But I'm in the flow. During those nights, I'm trying to be a rock star. So
you were bouncing. So I sat, and I'm having here, I was tired. I just taught a seminar. You know, you've been with me in seminars. Oh, he knows. He saw me Friday. He's like, I'm going to go feed you. You just sit. I'm sitting, I'm having my bowl here, and barely didn't even drink. I'm just eating, I'm looking around. So there was a table VIP right in front of us. So it's a restaurant / club. It was weird. I can't remember that place. It was Asian food. It was good food. And there was the couches there, and I'm like sitting and watching these women unimpressed with whoever's around him. These guys running around him. And he's like, and Niels was like, you want to see me? You could do work? I was like, bro, you do what you got to do. I mean, he's like, no, you want to see me? And he was just in his moment. He said, I'm working. And that's when he says, I'm working, it's that. So a lot of people don't understand that, by the way. That's how I think seduction harder, but him practice. So he went, brother, he went in, spoke, came back and sat with me. I saw the attention, and I'm like, okay. And then he went, he's like, I'm going to talk to them and figure out who's going to come this way and who's going to... Man, he went in, the table of 6 women went left and right, and 1, 2, 3 start coming around here and sitting talking. All he said, he talked to one and observing. The guys that were all big buffed and whatever shirts and watch, we were in t-shirt and jeans. I was just after the seminar. They were standing and staring like, the fuck just happened? This dude just went in, ping pong through everything, and sat down. He didn't kiss. He didn't fart. He just went, talked, and said 2 words and just sat down. Yeah, and we were not flossing. We did not have a bottle on our table. Literally, I had food in my lap. And he had maybe 1 drink. I don't know if he had the one. And it was that basic. And you should see all these ballers. And I'm like watching this. I was laughing inside because I know what he was doing.
No, but I think, and that goes back because guys, we think that guys, we think women think like us. Women we're visual, women are not. And they think that. So I see a lot of guys in my gym they're like, hey man, I'm gonna get a pump and go out. I'm like, okay, cool. I have never been to a bar and a single girl walked to me and asked me how much I bench. It's always a dude. You know, nobody really gives a fuck how much I lift, how much I do that. So to women, that doesn't matter. So a lot of guys I go out with, I was in New York, and these 6 guys, they were all professional. You've seen the pictures. Oh, yeah. They're all professional bodybuilders, all won tournaments, and we're walking to clubs, and in my head, I'm like, dude, these guys are gonna be amazing. These guys we're walking to a club looking really good. These guys are professional bodybuilders. We're walking to a club, we're killing it. The 6 dudes sat in the corner drinking the bottle while I was talking to girls trying to get out of the room. And I'm like, dude, what happened? And they're like, what do you mean what happened? They were literally, and we got ourselves back to a hotel for a bachelor party, and these guys literally sat in the corner, and they're like, what are we supposed to talk to them about? I'm like, I don't fucking know, like do something, like just get up but they assume that women are visual, that all they care about is gonna be me looking good and blah, blah. And I'm like, no, they don't, nobody gives a shit about that. Like really, that's beside the point.
So before I let Arash come in, so I'm explaining the different levels of this game he does, okay? I call it a game because he plays it. He knows how he's going. He's a master of this game. We finished all that at a club. Some of them want to go with that. We were kind of late. It's like, let's get an Uber and go to the lobby. So mind you, the hotel I'm in, people are suited up. We go in the lobby, and I was like, he looks, you want to sit down and drink? I look around, I was like, yeah, but we look like fucking thugs. Just the way we look. Bro, he sat down. People there. He rocked the fucking lobby party. I see white guys in suits were jamming the hip hop because of Arash. I'm talking about men, women in their 40s, 30s to their 60s. I'm talking about high class hotel. He just rocked the party, and we sat down the whole lobby. So that's when I say the communication plays a huge role in that. He just went, and if you see how he looked as we walked in there, he rolled up his sleeve, his tats and everything, you know, we looked like thugs walking in. Literally everybody they saw us, they turned there, got word that these guys coming to fuck up this lobby. They didn't know we have the biggest suite in there. But he went down, and I loved it because I was laughing inside so hard because I saw the look on these men. Suddenly they all became friends, and they started buying us drinks and that. And it wasn't about picking up women, but see where I get to the communication. And remember that night, Arash?
Yeah, oh man, thank you. I forgot about that, but it's nice to think about it. It's really nice.
So to go back on track, Arash, what's the number one pet peeve of yours that you see men doing when approaching women or talking to women? What's the number one mistake you see people keep doing?
They're not observing her signals. So, you know, it's really upsetting to see somebody not see the negative signals and push through as if they don't see it. It becomes a violation. It becomes being rude, right? So if he's watching her, she'll tell him where the comfort zone is, and he should ride that level. He shouldn't push further. I think it's uncomfortable for me to watch men and women talk because they're constantly breaking each other's comfort zones. There seems to be see, animals don't do this. They're aware of the distance they're around each other. And people through communication, they just get right into each other's faces almost with their communication. It's gross. So that's I think a big problem, right? You should look at her, and if she looks like she's, if it looks positive, it is. If it's not, it's not. And if you're unsure, then always approach cautiously. Always approach cautiously. Don't be so unrefined when you approach her. It's going to take the most refined man. Listen, let me put it in the proper terms. It's going to take the most refined savage to get her. True. It's the most refined beast.
I use that word all the time. You don't know what the fuck that
exactly.
means.
But
it's the most knowledgeable beast that will get her. So it's the most civilized beast.
So some men, when they're approaching women, they give the woman what she wants to hear. They're like, hey, that works for me, so I'm going to tell her what she wants to hear. And we have a friend who told his girl 4 years ago that he likes the opera because she told him she likes the opera. And he's been stuck going every weekend, and he hates it. Right. Seriously, he's getting married, and he still goes to opera every week because he's too shy to come up and tell her he lied when he first met her. So what happens...
Oh, so that's the story?
That's the story. He hates
I didn't know. I thought the idiot just follows along.
No, he hates the opera. He told her I like it. So what do you tell to men? Like... We all know each other, right? From my experience, I'm very honest in a person. I tell them up front, here, this is what I'm into, and if they don't like it, then too fucking bad. I walk into the next person. And anything, whether it's a transaction, whether it's a gym, whether it's a woman, whether anything. So what do you tell men who are walking to a situation and they just tell bullshit and they end up getting stuck with it? And now they can't recover. And it becomes almost like they have to live the lie for the rest of their life. Or break up.
Yeah, this is great. Because... my process of being around women is a spiritual process. My whole life's work is this, okay? I've created a system called the Beast and the Beauty. For the last 9 months, I've been living as a monk here. It's a Stoic temple. I don't have a bed. We gave up our beds. We gave up our cars. We gave up our foods. We gave up our brands. And when I say we, it's me, and I think I have 25 monks now I've ordained around the world. A lot of them are on right now. Called the IMC Fighting Monks. I'm serious about it. My life's work is my seduction to the world and everything. And the answer is very important because who you're asking the question to, me. And in this moment, I'm not going to be humble. I'm just going to tell you, Earth has never seen anything like me. I've surpassed Casanova and Don Juan and Rasputin. And read the book, The Art of Seduction. I have surpassed every one of them in what they've done. Every one of them. And where I'm going, nobody even can begin to measure. So based on that, let me answer this, okay? From that perspective of the true love I have for seduction is if you get a woman that's that worth it for you, like she's hot, you just, man, God, I can't, that one, then you shouldn't worry about going to the opera or not. You're a bitch if you're worried about that. Go to the fucking opera because it's not about the opera. It's about that woman. That's the pay to get into her and get her to love you. You as a man shouldn't have so many desires like, oh, I just hate pizza and I just hate opera and opera and I just don't like, and this is, shut the fuck up. Especially when it comes to like being with women. You're with her. It's her time. You, what do you want to do, honey? Whatever, I'm good. Right? I want to go smell the roses. Oh, I hate roses. We always smell roses. Right? She goes, I want to go for a drive. A drive again? I'm so bored. Like, whatever. She could say, look, I want to go sit on my head and drink tea. I'd be like, fucking, let's go. And she goes, but you don't like doing that. I'm like, what does that even mean? I'm hanging out with you. I should learn to like it. If you like opera, you're my woman. When a man's desires start to go against hers, whoa, he needs me in his life. He needs to show up, and I got to tell him, look, you in front of a woman, one desire, her. Second, to your purpose. Look, My purpose is first. Then when I'm a woman, it's this. I have a purpose and I have a woman and I got nothing else going on, right? After she's gone, I have a bunch of desires. I want ice cream. I want this. I want that. I want to ride my bike. When she's around me, she's my desire.
But is there a balance between the two? Because at some point, like the specific person we're talking about, I have somebody in mind that I'm referring to. It switched, almost crossed that. I understand spending time with a loved one.
He's so far gone. He's so far gone.
No, but here's the thing. There's a difference between, I don't enjoy certain things, but I would still do it with my girl. I'm not into bodybuilding shows, but guess what? I go to bodybuilding shows because she was into it.
Right? If you're going to do it for your girl, do it for your girl.
Exactly. But at what point you're sacrificing your own self? Like this person quit the gym, quit working out, quit jiu-jitsu, quit Krav Maga, quit his job, stopped smoking hookah.
I quit talking to him because to me that's just
stopped hanging out with his friends, stopped coming to our parties because there's women and alcohol and shit. So he's completely switched his life.
But he said he's far gone.
So at what point you're sacrificing your self-worth to be with somebody and then balance it out?
In my opinion, he's fucked. I don't know. I'm just saying it's fucked. There's no opinion in this. He's fucked.
He is fucked.
But let's put it like this. Okay. This is part of our philosophy.
By the way, women do this. By the way, I've seen him doing with guys.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that, Arash, in your experience? Because he also taught you are also an instructor to women, aren't you?
Okay.
Yeah. Because by the way, I'm saying I have to clarify this stuff to our audience because Arash understand, but I'm just saying, we have to explain to our audience because, and I don't give a shit because you know how I despise feminists. Jesus Christ, those people get on my nerves. They're not women. We have women are women, but a lot of people may start seeing this. Oh shit, this is an old male shit. Whatever you want to say. This man also, I know women, and I can't bring their name. That he is their mentor. And these fucking women are becoming badass bitches that they play with guys. You'll be shocked.
Just to tell you something funny, by the way, I got blocked yesterday by a person because they asked the question, how do I get a good man? And I responded and she blocked me. I guess she didn't like my response. I said it takes one step. It's called a treadmill. Get on it, lose weight, and call it a day. She blocked me. I got blocked. I was being honest. I was like, you're 300 pounds. I mean, it's just
that's a difference
between the personality. Lose weight, and that's a step.
Well.
Okay, ready? Listen. Just for your audience, since you said audience, okay, listen. I'm going to show you something.
Okay, so 24 hours ago, I had a conversation with Arash, literally 24 hours ago. And it was a short conversation. It wasn't even too long. He had me go through and handle some things. He helped me out with some things. And the things that he helped me with, I would have never done on my own. I didn't even know that it was something I needed to do. And now, 24 hours later, I feel so fucking free. Like, more than anything, of course, I feel happy, I feel light, but I just feel free to live my life. Like, really, though, finally, free to live the life that I want to live. Not the fucking life that society tells us to live, or our fucking parents or stupid friends. No, like my life. I literally feel reborn with the opportunity now to choose how I want to live. I feel completely free, and I would have never been able to do this on my own. And there's no one else that would have been able to help me with this. And
this is one of many, but it starts to give you an idea. Here's another one.
I want to come on here and say thank you to Arash. A conversation took place last night, and it was a huge eye-opener, and that's an understatement, really. I had the wrong ideas, had the wrong goals. A lot of people grow up domesticated, believing that the ideas that they've been told their whole life are valid, and they're not always valid. Arash told me my truth. And not everybody can handle the truth. It's in that moment where you either boss up or you bitch out. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Arash. Thank you. It's an honor to be a part of IMC Nation, to learn from you and the girls. I am not the same person that I was yesterday. Truly, thank you so much. Like Arash Dibazar always says, it's all in a state of mind. Be the best and fuck the rest.
Okay, look, I can show you. And the level of these women, you decide if these are big fat pigs or we're talking about people that look like they can communicate. These women are intelligent and beautiful, on and on and on. Now, the world may never know that about me.
No.
Because currently, at this moment, I have 39 women that I teach, 39, and no one knows. 39 women students. They all will give you testimonials like this, just so you know. But that's the side gig. That's
but social media, let's be honest, sorry to cut you off, Arash. Social media have cut all those tags. You used to get so many testimonials and stuff, and I don't know what just happened. By the way, just to tell this to our followers, Arash had one of the strongest, biggest Facebook live accounts ever. In the constant tags, he had to make one private one, so us friends are close, we can chat, because there's no way you can comment one comment and it just get derailed. In Instagram, he had a huge account with 200,000 likes. They went and crack went after, and they were like, "Oh, he's fraud." I was like, "No, because the social media thinks so."
Yeah, they took me
know
down.
These for a fact. And these testimonials that he brings to you, ladies and gentlemen, now I don't know how you can find it, but you see the ladies tag him, and that's why he shares it. It's not that he's like, "Oh, give me a testimonial."
They're okay with me showing it. They're more than okay with me showing it.
So the question for you, it's almost New Year's, and you know the New Year's new me bullshit. What's 5 tips you give guys and girls who are listening to us how to improve their communication in the new year? I don't believe in the new year, new bullshit, by the way, just for the record. I think it's ridiculous, because you should always change yourself and not start at January 1st. But for the people who are into that bullshit, what do you give them to start, whether it's Monday, whether it's today, whether they want to listen to it, or in the new year? 5 things that they can do to improve.
What are they trying to improve?
Their communication skills.
Oh, I see. Number one, you have to understand you have to understand the value of communication and how important it is. It's not second most important thing in your life. It's the most important thing in your life. Your relationship with any person, watch this, try this little mental exercise. Your relationship with any person you know right now is as good as your last conversation with them. Think about it. If the last conversation you had with them was very upsetting and you think about them, you don't feel good about them. It doesn't matter. You've known them for 20 fucking years of bliss. The last conversation tells you how you feel about that person, right? So communication is literally the lifeline of relationships. You start by knowing that with it, you possess literally the power. It's magic. There's nothing. If there's magic, it's communication, without a doubt. Number 2, learn to listen. And what does that mean? Like, listening with interest is different than pretending to listen. Like, get interested in people, because they're very interesting, actually. I mean, I can't make that up, but if you're not interested, you're not. I'm interested in people, right? It's like so cool that you guys are existing and I'm existing, and we know each other. And we have some sort of a bond that's growing even as we speak. We can all feel it, right? And it really has nothing more than we were just been in conversation with each other. You know, what a trip that relationships are nothing more than this airy conversation that then now creates a feeling in our hearts. Then next time we talk again and again, next thing you know, you're friends and you're helping each other in life. Like, whoa, dude, that started with just some words that created some feelings. Fuck. So I would say learn to listen, which means become interested in other people. 3, slow down your communication, speaking too fast. 4, speak with confidence. Right? Don't hesitate in your community. Like, well, you know, I mean, maybe like if I was, well, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I guess that has to go away. Okay, like, whoa, shh. So be quiet for a second. Like, you don't need to say all that. Okay. And number 5, smile, just like you just saw right now. A smile brings a smile on the other side, right? Because you could deliver the same message like this, and you know, let's say I go for about 10 seconds. Doing this and just talking about whatever I'm talking about, which is really nothing. And then I just begin to shift my face. And again, I talk about the same thing, which is really nothing. But I'm just saying nothing, but with a smile on my face. And then it has a different feeling over there. And all I've done is just turn the lips up a little bit. You know, whether it's genuine or not, nobody gives a shit. This is way better than this. So a person can just begin to do that. Now, not the whole time talking like this. Hey, everybody, come down and buy a car now. You know what I mean? Not that guy. Nah, not that guy. No, this guy. The guy who's talking is talking, and then, you know, I mean, there's a lot of techniques, but you're talking, and then you say, do you know what I mean? And then you smile, or you say blah blah blah, or and then you go, well, what do you think? And then you smile. Like, the smile is thrown in there in these beautiful little moments. Communication is it's so poetic, you know. It's like a flower. It's like the smoke coming out of your mouth. You know what I mean? But the smoke goes out of your mouth and it starts to make these images, right? Imagine you blow the smoke out, you sit back, and you suddenly see the most incredible images of your life unfolding, and everybody else could see it. That's communication to me. It's just a bunch of smoke that creates an image that if you do it right, other people can see it, right? But we're not paying attention to
Such a beautiful description.
No, it is.
It is.
You know, I want to share something before we go off. My personal experience, and you know, Arash is not just a guest. He's my brother. That's my family in there. That's the difference. But I want to put my success story as an example, okay? And also, I recommend, as we always do to our followers, to start, you know, seeing what our guest is about, because we don't just bring any guests here. Anyway, so my experience here. So I remember one day, a couple of things. I had situations. One day, and believe it or not, when I was married, we got back and whatever, I was like talking to Arash, because Arash, me and him, we were like, we had monthly talk or twice a month, you know, before all this, you know, but I didn't care. Our friendship, I paid him as my mentor, because that's business. Business is aside, this is how it is, this is how you do it. One day he looked at me, and I'll never forget, we were on FaceTime. He was like, you got woman issues, man. I was like, the fuck? I just looked at him, and I was even mad. Like, I'm sitting here telling him, I got this here, you know, with something going on. And he just said to me, and he was like, I looked at him, I wanted to say, are you high? I was like, really? It got me. Like, it agitated the fuck out of me. And he laughed. He was like, see, I got a point. I was like, no, you don't. I don't have woman issues. And in the back of my head, he was right, but it pissed me off, because I'm like, I don't have any women issues that fucking fuck my life like this, you know? And sure enough, he fucking detailed it. And he's like, this is gonna happen to you if you don't listen to me. Boom, I got screwed over. I called him, he knew it. He's like, so what happened? And I'm like, everything you said. Yeah, you know, so that's one. But one day me and him sat down, and he was like, he's like, all right, we're gonna work together. I want to see what. He's like, what do you want? I was like, you know, man, I want to go to the next level. I'm tired of teaching, doing this for so many years. I need to start hit the road. And I said, seriously, everything I hit with him, I started with a seminar with him. Boom, I got booked up immediately in somewhere else, in California. First thing, I hit West Coast. You hit West Coast for a seminar, you're getting there. And you know, West Coast, in my opinion, is the mecca of martial arts in America. I don't give a shit what all these people want to say. You want to be somebody, go in a fucking gym that is known, do a seminar there. Yeah. Suddenly, my numbers went up. He told me, social media, we gotta be getting this, boom, 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 boom. And it's not like he's telling me what to do. He just throws it there, and I'll see it in my head, and it pops. Boom, I got a DVD. Boom, I start getting booked up. Boom, I'm going online. So what I'm trying to tell the crowd here, you go crazy when you listen to others and judge the cover and like, man, that guy's a crazy, he got 7 fucking women. You know, like you told them, a manipulator. There's a lot of treasure to be learned when it comes to somebody I call a master of communication. It's literally his program will help you. What you got, just reach out. And I'm giving you an advice, ladies and gentlemen, truly. I didn't seek him. I was like, oh, I need to get laid. That's, if you had that, but that's not our relationship. We're
married. You were married. Yeah.
And that's what I was.
Late, you were married.
Yeah, back then, yeah. I was like then. So, and literally, but what surprises me, how he sees the issue. And I did not say one thing to him that I'm frustrated with my marriage back then. I didn't say one word.
Something happened to me at some point in my life where I suddenly could see clearly the dynamic of, let's take martial arts, yin and yang, male and female. My eyes opened up to this. I don't know how it happened. Maybe my intense desire to fucking know this thing my entire life, right? And I began to see it. Now, it's a gift, it's a curse, okay? And why is it a curse? I can see when a man and a woman are around, it's very, very difficult to hide from me what each of them is feeling about each other. No matter what they do, no matter how they try to interact, no matter if they don't look at each other. If I observe them, very quickly. I don't know how I know, but I know exactly how they feel about each other. So this is a gift because that's how I have successful relationships everywhere I go. It's a curse because a lot of times you don't want to know certain things the people you love are feeling towards others because it makes you feel insecure or upset. And you see that the truth is what it is, right? It's difficult. Like, it bothers me even thinking about it right now. But something happened. I was able to see this dynamic. And even like right now, the way I was evaluating this podcast, as you said that, I just realized was, I'm sorry, your name, what is your name again?
Omar.
I can't hear you.
Omar.
His name, Omar? Yeah.
Omar.
Yeah.
Right. So as you were talking, Omar, in the very beginning, within like 2 minutes, I had mapped out probably, at least my own fantasy, just so you know what was happening with me now that he said that. In 2 minutes, I had mapped out probably how women view you from a woman's perspective, where your strength is, where your weakness is. Where probably you would be having a problem with a woman. I could be completely off, but I'd done like a psychic reading in 2 minutes of you talking. I could see all the pieces and I could see your strength and where you would be shining with women and stuff. And
let's hear it.
That's really fascinating because I just
let's hear it. I'm sure people would love to hear that. Let's hear it. If you don't mind sharing that, let's hear it. I would love to hear it, and I'm sure that's interesting.
Observed?
Yeah, I'm sure that's interesting enough.
Yeah. Okay,
I'll open it up.
There we go.
Yeah, but correct me, okay?
Okay, I will. I promise.
Yeah, because I want to know what it is that I'm seeing. So far, I've mapped out that you have a very unique confidence. I don't know where it comes from, but you know you have this confidence. And it's almost like you bully people with it, but in a kind way, right?
That's true, right? You laughed.
That is very true. For people who can't see the visual, that is very true.
Yeah, he laughed and his face was red because that's true, man. That's why he gets blocked.
Yeah, you throw your weight around knowing you're doing it, but you never crush them because you're actually a real good guy. So you just show them what you could do with them, and that kind of makes a lot of people back the fuck up. And in a social situation, somehow this comes across to women, it comes across to men. Like, if they give you a chance to talk and move around, you're going to dominate. I think you would dominate a social scene if you wanted to. Sometimes you choose not to. You sit back and just do nothing. And
that is very true.
And that's our issue when we go out.
Yeah,
all the
that's
time,
very
right?
true.
All the time.
Yeah.
That's why when we say, why the fuck guys fuck with you first, right?
That's
so
very true.
Yeah.
No, that is very true. And honestly, that's very true. Even my like girl's friend invited us to a party, and just to confirm that what you're saying is true, she invited us to a party, and it was the first time showing up, and I didn't know, me walking in, it was a girls' party. There was like 20 girls for a birthday, and I'm the only guy. And every single party they've been going out of their way to invite us. And my girl's like, hey, I'm working. They're like, well, can you send your husband, please? Because he actually was the life of the party, and I never knew them before, and it's very true. And I've had that multiple times. Or I have the opposite, which is the negative side of people look at me and think I'm gonna, crush them, and they end up. I'm sitting in a bar having a drink, and some guy would walk to me and be like, "Let's go outside and fight."
Yeah,
okay,
all the time. You know what's funny?
Okay.
He even sits. I'll be sitting with him right there. They'll avoid me and fuck with him, and he's like, the most dangerous motherfucker sitting right by me. You're still like literally, Arash. We walked one day. Remember that?
Yeah.
I walked. I passed. I had one of my girls with me. I grabbed her. I moved. Nobody touched. Suddenly I hear motherfucker, and I look behind me. I'm like, oh shit, somebody's swinging or something, and they went for Omar. And he's like, what the fuck did I even
literally
do?
walking out of a club, and the guy started grabbing his gun.
Yeah, I just went up for it. Like, you motherfuckers. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
That's
So you're
fascinating. I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
You're 100% on track so far.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for something so I can call me like, this is wrong.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, let's keep going then, okay? Well, I would like to see what I would see as a weakness. That would be fun. Okay, because that's hard to see a lot of times. That's what people hide. But through your communication, if I was a woman, let me see. Yep. Man. I'm similar in many ways, so I can see it, and I have different types of women. So the one that would bring out the weakness is the one that, when your intelligence is not affecting her the way it should, because she's not getting it, but she's trying to get it. So she's not like not trying to get it. She's trying to get it, but she's not getting it. So she's failing at receiving your communication. This can put you and I in a spin mentally, because I think your weapon is not your size. Your weapon is your intelligence. You're fucking people up with your intelligence, right? And the size is just cool. It's almost like you play with the size. Like you're not too attached to it. It's just fun to be a big guy like that for yourself. You know what I mean? But intelligence is, so you'll never crash on a woman saying anything about your weight or your size or no, whatever, bitch, whatever. Nobody gives a fuck. But if your intelligence doesn't hook and she's willing, she's listening, she's not just a dumbass, like you actually are having a dialogue, and now she's not getting you. And if she walks away misjudging you, like you're like, wait, no, that's not actually what I meant, and she has a bad idea of you, holy shit. That woman can trap your soul, even though she's a dumbass. I've dealt with dumbasses like that.
That is very true.
So
honestly,
that's the only thing I see right now. Other than that, you're solid in your shit. So it's just a matter of what you want to do with it, I guess. And that's kind of like, that somewhere you picked up the basic understandings, the basics of interacting with people in a very successful way. So I think that's obvious. I don't know. It came from sales or something, right? You're as good at sales.
Yeah, I started selling cars.
Did you have a realization or something that just made it easy to deal with people?
No, so I was in Italy. I went to high school, and then I came to college in the U.S., and I was an international student who was not really fitting in. I was, in a private school, but I wasn't from a rich family, or I came by myself. And, a lot of struggles and working and doing all that. And I started selling cars, and just to make extra cash. And then I realized if I can convince, literally, I was just thinking about it. I was like, if I can convince a motherfucker to buy a piece of shit car and give me his hard-earned money, that I can convince a girl to give me her number and sleep with me. It's the same thing. People are really attached to their money, and girls are really attached to sleeping with whoever they sleep with and whoever they go date.
Their bodies.
So I became, okay, cool. What am I doing with selling cars? I'm showing really good confidence about the car. I'm showing them that I don't really need them per se to buy the car. I'm not desperate. And I'm showing them that it's the best thing they can ever get. So I start reflecting that. I start going to bars and I'd be like, hey, the best thing you can ever in a sense, not saying it straightforward, the best thing you can ever do in your life is get to know me. The best fucking thing that will ever happen to you is just walk through the door. I'm the most unique person here. And I start taking my disadvantages and making it into positives. So instead of saying, hey, I'm here alone and I don't have my family and I'm struggling, I'd be like, well, actually, I'm actually run a business and I'm not really a mama's boy. And I start doing things like that. And instead of me saying, hey, I'm crazy, I'm paranoid from going to Iraq and getting shot, I sit in corners and stare at everybody, I'm like, I'm observant. And start selling that into a positive way. And that's when I kind of realized, I'm like, hey, that actually works. And I'm getting girls, not because I'm paying for shit, I don't have money to pay for anything. It's not because of looks. I was fat as fuck if last time I've seen my pictures at the time. So it wasn't looks, I haven't even stepped in a gym, it wasn't money. So I realized, okay, shit, I can bullshit my way out of things. And essentially that was it. And even my people around me, they start saying that. They're like, hey, Omar, you can walk into a situation and bullshit enough to make the person buy things that they already own. I'm like, yeah, I'm really good at selling things. And I think that translated to me being a woman and social sense. So I agree with you 100%, but that is, I think my weakness is when I have conversation with people and they misunderstand. I'm like, no, well, hold on a second. I didn't exactly mean it this way. Like, you might not have understood my sarcasm or understood my full intention in what I'm saying. And I still remember a specific incident, and the person doesn't matter at all. I was in a party and I said one thing to her and it didn't matter. Like, I wasn't even trying to hit on her. It wasn't anything at all. It was a social interaction, and she misunderstood it, and I saw her face misunderstand it. Until today, I'm like, why the fuck did she misunderstand it? That's not what I meant at all. And she doesn't matter at all. I don't even remember her name. Like, really, I don't even, like, nobody. So you're 100%.
Now, check this out. Remember this, that's so unique, what you just said, as a problem. And somehow I could hear that in your voice.
That is freaky, honestly. I'm telling you right now, that's like,
yeah,
I'm smiling
but it's freaky to you, but it's also freaky to me. I just want to tell you, because I get that I got all that. And I get that that's unique. I totally get that. And I don't know how it's happening. My problem is I'm operating on that all the time. And so people are not even aware half the time of what their voice is telling me. And I'm freaking out because I'm hearing in her voice a doubt about our relationship. Yeah. I can hear it. She doesn't even know she's doubting the relationship. And this is a trippy situation. So I also believe firmly that what I just was able to demonstrate in my ability, every single human being has something like this. I truly believe it. I know it. Because I'm tapping into something that feels like it's not me. It's something bigger. For me to do what I did, I can't be Arash Dibazar. I have to be so immersed in trying to understand you that I can't be that important. See? So that's the example of when I say people have to learn to listen, is when you're talking, I'm listening with like my soul or something. I'm trying to get who this guy is, because how fascinating that we're talking. That's just magic.
It honestly is amazing. Blew my mind. But last question, so we can keep the podcast kind of short so people can listen to it fully.
Yeah.
Last question, and switching kind of gears. For women, a lot of women say, and I've heard this comments from friends and family, I'm good looking, I can get any guy I want. But it's not about getting a guy, I want a quality guy. A lot of women struggle. They're like, yeah, I can go to a bar and get 50 numbers and sleep with 50 dudes, but how can I get the guy that I actually want? What advice do you give to women? Again, it's almost cuffing season, to get the man they actually want, and not just some guy that they can sleep with, or some guy that will hit it and not call them next day.
Wow, I really feel it for women, because it's tough being a man, but it's tougher being a woman when it comes to this. It must be so difficult. I know how men are. You know how men are.
Yeah, we do.
And we both know that it's going to be very difficult for her. So, but there has to be an answer, and there is an answer. So, but we have to first approach it like that, though. We got to say it for what it is. What a tough problem every woman has, really, to find a quality man. Because a man can make a quality woman. She can mold her, but she can't make a quality man. It's not designed.
It's really hard to get.
Difficult.
Right?
But what would I do if I was her?
Okay.
What would I do if I was her? How do I find a man? First, don't look in places that man should not be in. Like, if that makes sense, there's certain places you won't find me in. Okay? So don't look for me in those places. Right. And so she should definitely not spend time in places that her mate wouldn't be, because she's a woman and she needs to find a mate quickly, I think, a good man. So first of all, she should cut out of her existence any area spending social time that her man should not be there. You're not going to find me in a place that they're doing very hard drugs. I'm not going to be there. So a woman who wants to get with me shouldn't go there either. If she doesn't want a guy that doesn't do hard drugs, right? Mm-hmm. She should find herself in places that the values she wants are there. Mm-hmm. So she would do better if she was, let's say, a Christian and was a real hardcore Christian and went and found a real hardcore Christian man. At least they have something in common. That's what she should do.
Exactly.
Because other than that, it's game over, man. So if she loves tattoos a lot, she should go hang out in tattoo parlors and find a tattoo artist, because at least she could fall in love with that, because she's doomed. He's going to be dishonest. He's either one of us or he's fucked. That's all I know. He's going to be dishonest. He's going to be weird. He's going to do his best, but he's not going to be able to take care of her. I know it. You know it. He knows.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyways.
Yeah. So, quick recap before we go.
Yeah.
So one thing, I'm going to shoot this on Arash, and I know his answer, but I want to shoot it. Arash, me and you talk so much, and that's one of the things me and you got in credit. You believe in the primal life, basically, and we're primal. I mean, we're talking about the primal ways, which just comes to martial arts, the way how we go forward in life, even in communication. I believe more in, I believe the animal kingdom has things that shows us that humans are fucking oblivious of. And when I tell you this, one day, and I will explain this tattoo here on me, I think he knows about it. So, I told him, I was like, man, it's like we went in and here, and I was like, it doesn't bug me, but fucking people just seem and bug out. You know what I mean? Like, man, that guy's just like, I have that vibe. And I even told him, I was like, I don't do it on purpose. I'm just there chilling. No. And literally one day we were sitting, and maybe a guy was 20, 50 times way worse and dangerous than me. And everybody just like looked at me and was like, fuck that guy. And I'm like, the fuck? So I was teaching at him, and he caught it. And that's one thing about him. He's very good about it. If you notice the graphics he made, even for his guests and all that, how he put them with it. You know, all my animal tribe on my body have come from things that I believed in the spirits, that animalistic spirit. So one day I was doing a seminar, and then he looked at me and was like, I get it. And I thought, because Arash sometimes will say something, I don't know if he's, meditating or thinking, and I looked over my shoulder. I was like, what are you talking about, man? It was like, Black Panther. I was like, what? That's before the movie, by the way. He's like, brother, you're just like a panther. When you teach and you come in, you just have that lunge in you. And that what brought this when I did this tattoo of the panther here, but I did a homage with those 3 lines that he has on his side of his face because of that moment. So here why I'm going with this. I do believe our communication, even with females, or even as what we do when we go into clubs, it's very primalistic. Arash, you're a jiu-jitsu black belt. When you walk in, let's say you don't put your black belt, you go to a no-gi session where nobody knows what is the stripes on you. Isn't you see all the guys look around and the puff, that puffing starts. It's like sizing each other like a bunch of apes or lions looking at them, Till one day you see the dude hooks again the belt and you see the blue belt goes, ooh, right? Isn't that the feeling? Like, see, a lot of people, if they're not in jiu-jitsu, don't understand that because it's very primal. And I do believe in the way you do things, communication, that whole spiritual thing, even with martial art, I think it really has that animalistic essence to it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, it's a combination, and the wording of it would be a civilized mind with a savage body. That's the difference. Okay. So we become civilized savages or civilized primitives. And that's what I'm seeking, right? We want to be able to sit in dialogue and philosophy at the highest level like this and suddenly turn around and teeth and claws come out, right?
That's the tribe. I'm a gentleman and I can be hood.
Exactly.
How you want me to go.
That's the perfect man, I believe.
Yes.
It's the bad boy with a good heart, they say. He's very attractive. Okay, and the bad boy doesn't mean an asshole. He's just a bad boy. He's a bad motherfucker. He's the one that walks into a place and the rules better make sense or he's not following it. He doesn't follow rules. He follows sense. People don't understand what a bad boy is. A bad boy is just one who follows his sense, actually. And if you don't make sense, he's going to follow his sense. So he's a bad boy? Okay, whatever. When we're talking about bad people, that's somebody the opposite of that. And people, we got that confused. But it's a primal body. Our exercises, our movement is primal. Our everything is primal. But the mind has to continue to reach for God. Higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Why? Because that's when the mind feels the best and the body feels the best. That's the only reason we're doing that. Not because some book wrote it. But when your body, you're treated primally with food and movement and sleep or whatever, now you begin to tap into some other intelligence that's obviously making my heart beat, my blinking and all that. And, my face was blown up yesterday, 2 days ago. Something is healing my body. I'm just putting the intention that my body's going to heal. But it's getting rid of whatever the problem was. So that intelligence is here. It's not me. I know it's not me because I can't do any of that shit, but I'm in contact with it. It's called my body.
You're connected to it. Yeah. See, that's the thing. You are connected. That's why exactly. Yeah. See, that's what him been talking. But Arash is great with his explanation word because it even reaches people that don't get it, which is the problem I face with some of these people. Yeah. And that's why. But it makes your circle like that. Yeah. There's a way how we eat. There's a way how we talk. There's a way how we live. This is a way, and it's just not. I just found Umar. Now me and him are just bad. No, it's just we looked at each other. Chin check, all right, and then we figure it out. And it's just like you said, we can go intellectual, but it's just like the connection to the body. Like he said now perfectly, and he said, my face was blown up. Something is healing. Dude, you tell somebody else she's going to run to the doctor, he or she, I need antibiotics or something's coming out, maybe there's cancer here, and all hell breaks loose.
Oh, my girlfriends thought I was dying. They actually thought I was dying. They looked it up on Google.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. That perfectly describes my lifestyle. I believe in that. That's why my name is Thug with PhD. My body is a thug, but I'm tattooed up. I've been arrested. I throw down. I worked in different shitty jobs, but I have a PhD. I'm educated. I have a mind. And that's why I think our circle, and even though we just met for the first time today, our circle always share that in common.
Oh, yes.
We're all like rough and tough and go work out and hit each other and beat the shit out of each other and bleed and sweat. But at the end of the day, we're drinking beer or whiskey and having a very smart conversation that's probably smarter than the average person can actually comprehend and understand.
And they're shocked how we treat our women too.
And they're like, how the
when
fuck
they see our women with us, they get shocked how we put up.
Exactly. They get surprised. They're like, what the fuck? You guys are nice.
Or some shit like that. You know how they think, yeah. They don't think we have civilized ways with our women and how they treat them. I always hear this. I would never forget this. I forgot. This chick came to me and him one day when we used to go hang out. What is that Mexican-American spot in Westport that shut down? Of course, of Coke.
Yeah, I know. Pour the fondo.
Yeah. This chick came out of nowhere. Drawback Gorge, we're sitting. She said, last weekend I watched both of you with your ladies. And I was like, okay. She's like that. Yeah.
It's a weird start.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, okay. And she said, I was amazed and surprised how good you guys treat them. And Omar goes, the fuck you think? We're going to beat the shit out of her? Omar just got like, what do you think we're doing? Beating on a woman? She was like, no, it did not look like you guys can really take care of it. It's like, I saw you guys get them drinks. You help seated them. You opened the doors for them. I was like, yeah, man. What do you want to throw her behind me?
Hey, you know, the perfect answer, just so you guys know, this is, man, I got jujitsu of words for this shit all the time. When she says that, you look at her and you go, me too. I was very surprised how I treated her too. I'm never like that. And she'd say, what do you mean? You say, exactly, what did you see? And she'll say, well, you say, yeah, that was surprising. And she'll say, well, what? You say, I don't know. What are you talking about? You know, it's like, you just keep staying on that line until she's like, well, how do you treat her? You say, I don't know.
All right, but you say you like to do that, then you're going to have a look over you fry her head. I don't want to do that. See, that's what makes you unique, man.
He goes, I was surprised. He goes, so was I. Just take it. I'm telling you, take the move they give you. If they say you're fat, you say obese. Don't stop there. Where are you going? Don't use fat. Fat's too small for me, bro. I'm be the best, fuck the rest. No. I'm trying to go for I'll eat your plate. If you give me your seconds, bro, I'll eat your children. Get the fuck out of here. Like, there's just no hurting a person that can do that. And that's the mental jiu-jitsu of this thing that I'm obsessed with is, how do we get to that mental indestructible area where they give you a cell in the jail cell and you say, finally, your character sits down in solitary confinement. They shut the door. They say, stay in there. Bam! And then we see finally your character settles down, lotus position, and goes, finally, I get to meditate.
I agree with you 100%. And honestly, I was having a conversation earlier on the phone coming here, and I thought this was common sense. I thought the average person has enough confidence in themselves to words do not hurt them. And I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he does the same thing I do. He posts videos a lot about politics, and he deleted everything. And I said, hey, man, why? He goes, I can't handle it anymore. I'm like, what? You got beat up? You got shot up? What happened? He goes, no, man. People kept messaging me in the meanest, ugliest words, and it really got in my head. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I get 50 threats a day. I get 50,000 people cussing me out every day. And I consider that I'm doing something right. If 50 people are taking time out of their day to cuss me out, that means actually I'm doing something successful.
Oh, bro, you should see the shit Arash gets.
I'm like, that's the start of if I don't. Did you tell him to take off his princess dress and take on his tampon too after that? Because he's only got one answer. You say, wait, what? What did you do? He says, their words were hurting me. You say, bro, okay, princess, congratulations. All right, go take off your fucking tutu.
I would never forget one case before I prolong this, and I have so much memories of shit Arash used to do, but I like one thing is honor about him, and that's the martial arts also, and I think where we all come from anyway, we got that fucking Middle East third blood in us that you're gonna fucking respect me, even if you will respect me. So I remember this piece of shit one day, and I don't think Arash remembers because he had so many of these fucks, but this guy went and totally trying to defame him in nasty ways. You rape and you this. Arash destroyed his life. First of all, started a whole fucking campaign on him. Later on went and sent his attorneys after him. Destroyed him. That dude came online begging, please make him stop. I'm like, no, fuck yourself. You did that. And I would never forget when he jumped. I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, jumped in and starting a campaign and put pictures. And I'm like, you fucked with the devil. You got him because he knows him and I know him and everybody knows him. But man, I would never forget that dude. But this is the society we live in. They take a little thing of what they think. They're jealous. They're hateful. So I'm going to take what he got. I'm going to fuck him. I'm going to ruin his reputation. Sorry, man. All this bullshit we live in society right now, this is what they do.
No, we live in a generation
of haters.
Well, listen,
just 1 second. My students that are here, just so you guys know, you see, a lot of you don't know that. Okay? So there was a time in the past where somebody got destroyed really bad. He saw it now. What you don't know is just recently, not too long ago, a couple of boot camps ago, somebody was being stupid, and I ended up doing it. Now, that guy, literally, up to this day, the other guy, he's here, the other student's here, but he literally still has a hard time walking in the streets because he's scared that someone's going to kill him. And I've actually forgiven him. I've messaged the guy, and I've said, bro, you're tripping. You need to stop tripping, right? In fact, I said, come sign up as a student, okay? And listen, Then he sends a secret message to my student and is like, I know Arash said that, but I really think he wants to kill me. I really think I shouldn't have. Like, it got so crazy, man. But I don't want to take it to that level anymore. Like, I've really stopped being that guy because that sucks. I hate being that guy. But it's available. I mean, hey.
Well, I wasn't doing it to be bragging point, but here's my thing is that when I explain
it was great.
Yeah, it is because here's what I say, and if a lot of people don't understand, they see people like this, do not stop fucking with people because you lack something that they have, that
the hater,
and just don't start with lies, you know, just get to know the person. Why don't you know, it'd be an interest. Like when I first saw him and I looked at his stuff, like, you know, man, this guy's unique. I go hit him up. I shot him a message and he goes, here's my number, let's talk. It was that easy.
It is the hater mentality. I got a phase in my life, Velas remembers that. I was dating 2 people at the same time, or 3 people at the same time openly, and I would get people commenting on my Facebook because I share a picture. They'd be like, oh, you must have mentally broke them down, they must be losers, and things. And the same dudes who are commenting that will see me in public and be like, hey man, how you doing? I want to do that too. I'm like, then why the fuck did you bash me online? Well, in case a girl was watching it, I gotta look myself good. And I'm like, what? You bash me?
Yeah, I've dealt with that so much. That's, to me, is, 4 lives ago I was dealing with that. But I know what it's like. The haters, I eat them for fucking. I eat them like what would I eat haters like? Like a little potato, maybe a tater tot. They taste like tater tots with a little bit of ketchup. Yeah, very small little tater tots.
Well, my brother, it's an honor to have you. Great to keep in touch with you.
Thank you so much.
I look forward for more. I got a feeling once we put this online, we're going to get more demand. Brother, we will, for our crowd, how they can find information about you, how they can learn from the master himself, how they can do all this, brother.
I'm using Instagram, so it's at AZDIMC 408 NorCal, okay? And then on YouTube, look up Arash Dibazar.
Guys, we'll actually link up Instagram, the books he mentioned, and his YouTube.